Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Friday's edition of Safe Defend Live. I'm excited today. We've got a special guest, Brad Evans. Brad's the president and CEO of Visiting Nurse Association, headquarters out of Kansas City. Brad, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And then we got Rusty, and Brad and I were just talking about Rusty's sordid past, but we
don't have enough time for that.
Rusty Russell, of course. Rusty, thank you for joining us again, Vice President of Safe Defend, and Rusty's been there since it all began. So we appreciate you both being here. And Brad, when Rusty and I were talking earlier this week, I said, we ought to have somebody on that's in corporate America.
Right.
Because we talk about school so much, and obviously that's an important market for us, and we have a lot of clients in our area, but we have a lot of clients in the corporate world too, and we thought we'd like to get your perspective and just kind of thoughts and experiences over the last several years as you've had Safe Defend. And by the way, congratulations on the new location. I understand you're moving to a new location, and you'll be getting the new latest version of Safe Defend when you move in there.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about what do you, from your perspective as the leader of the organization, as the leader of Visiting Nurse Association, what does it mean to you to have the Safe Defend system at your locations?
Sure, be happy to. So let me start with giving you a little bit of background into our organization and why we did feel it's important. So we're based out of the Kansas City area market. We're a large home health and hospice operation. So we have about 150 employees. The majority of those employees actually are out in the field. So those are registered nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapy, that see patients in their homes. But we have about 40 or more employees here in our corporate office that run the day-to-day business aspects and the clinical operations of the organization. So we're in one location all day long. And I first started talking to Rusty about this system, I think probably 5 or 6 years ago at least.
Yep. And
really the importance of understanding that, unfortunately, statistically in this country, a business is far more likely to experience a violent armed intruder than we are a tornado or a fire in the location. But what do we all practice and have a plan for every single year? And that's a fire drill or a tornado drill. But nobody plans for the unexpected when it comes to an armed intruder. And so when I looked at our organization, our most important asset, and it is for every organization, it sounds cliche, but it's true, and that's our employees. I mean, we're in healthcare. We're there to provide services to patients on a daily basis, but we got to take care of our own first. And if we take care of our people, they're going to do a better job of taking care of the patients that we've been entrusted to provide services for. And one of those for us was the Safe Defend system. And so when I started reviewing different systems out there, the Safe Defend system seemed like the best fit for our organization for a variety of reasons. But I'll tell you, the number one reason is the notification aspect of it. To have a system that when it's activated, if it has to be activated, you know what location it was activated from, and immediately a text message, an email is going out to all of our employees that we have an active armed intruder event in the building, and that it's immediately dialing 911, because we know that seconds really do count when it comes to these type of events. And thankfully, we've never had to activate the system except for doing our annual drills. But we know we have that peace of mind that it's there if we need it.
You hit on something I think is really important, Brad, and that's the peace of mind, right? We've talked. We've had the privilege of working with Safe Defend for several years, and it's really an insurance policy, not unlike anything else that you take out.
Right.
It's an insurance policy that doesn't pay. Well, it does indirectly pay financially, but directly it pays in saving lives and sending employees home safe. And I think that's one of the major things that we've always really focused on when we started working with SafeDefend. Talk a little bit about, I know there's of course, Rusty, we've got a lot of new training components coming out at SafeDefend. We've brought on, I don't know, have you had an opportunity to meet Dr. Vecchi yet?
Just heard about him through Rusty, and I think he popped into Rusty's office, and so we briefly spoke a couple of weeks ago. But really excited about the opportunities that VNA may have to take advantage of some of those educational opportunities, because there's aspects of again our business where it's both in an office setting and in a home setting.
Yep.
And with his experience, I think to bring him in to talk to our field staff about situational awareness, safety concerns when they're going into homes, on a daily basis. So really excited about the expansion of services that SafeDefend is going to be able to provide this year.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the cool things. Of course, I'll warn you, I always feel like Dr. Vecchi's analyzing me. And there's a lot to unpack there on my side.
Right.
So I always go home immediately after and just cry for a little bit. That's why I've been really taking it down. But he's a tremendous asset to SafeDefend, and through that, obviously, all of our great clients and customers around the country. But you talk about being situationally aware. Rusty, I'm going to bring you in for a second. I think, and Jeff Green and I have talked about this. Of course, Jeff, the founder of SafeDefend, being situationally aware, whether you're at a stadium, if you're at Arrowhead, if you're tailgating, if you're, at Kemper Arena, wherever you are, right? Going to the grocery store, going into a patient's home, or going to treat someone, there are things you can look for to help yourself be better prepared and more safe.
Exactly. Yeah, just like Brad said, the situational awareness, being aware of where the exits are in the building. When my wife and I go out to dinner, I'm always thinking about those things and where I sit, because it's just happens anywhere now. And so the more we prepare ourselves, like Brad said, with whether it's training, but I think having Dr. Vecchi come on board and providing various types of training, and really taking a focus and looking at identifying those people that might be at risk to do something bad. So, or that are having personal trouble that we can kind of keep an eye on. Just to our corporate side of things that Brad has been so good to work with us. And that is the folks in human resources. They know some of those situations that our employees are going through, or who they associate with. It could be an ex or a former boyfriend, whatever. We've got to be aware of those things that are going on in our employees' lives. And I think with the training that SafeDefend can provide, and Dr. Vecchi and all those things, we can help identify those folks well before things happen.
Yeah, it's important that we communicate, right? And I think, of course, there's all kinds of rules you got to follow, obviously, but there are those major things that you can pay attention to just be situationally aware. It's very, very important. I know, Brad, one of the things that I've got a good friend that's in the same business you are down here in Oklahoma, and he talks a lot about, one of his biggest fears is sending these people out into homes. You don't, you vet those situations up front, and you try to do everything you can, but you can't, there's always that unknown too, right? Until you establish a relationship inside that home. What are you currently doing? Are there things you can share with people that you currently do to try to help situationally for the folks out in the field?
Yeah, we go through a pretty small scale safety training when we have employees start with the organization that are going to be out in the field, and it all centers around that situational awareness type scenario. Whether you're looking for it's not uncommon sometimes to have nurses go into a home and there's a firearm on a table, or on a bedside stand, or on the kitchen table, or drug paraphernalia is a good example. And so really just, we focus a lot so much on understanding your surroundings,
Yeah.
and we call it your spidey senses, right? So it's like you go into a home, you're taking care of the patient, the spouse is there, but all of a sudden, first time you've been visiting this patient for 3 or 4 times, and now there's a son with a couple of friends that you didn't know were going to be there, and they might be involved in illicit drug activity there in the home while our staff are there, and we train them immediately to walk themselves out of that house without raising suspicions as to why they need to leave. That they pull their phone out of their pocket and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I've got to take this call. It's an emergent message from the corporate office about another patient." So
Yeah.
to remove themselves from that potentially unsafe environment, and then allow us the opportunity to have a conversation with that patient, with the spouse or the caregiver, and make them aware of, we have rights as healthcare workers as well, just like the patients have rights, and we have a right to a safe environment. So we do train those things, but I think it would be helpful to have an expert truly come in and share some of those experiences and things that they can do a better job of when they're in the home.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. I think those are the things that we do leadership circles here at our company, Exxon, all over the place, and there's great value in just sharing best practices with one another and how we handle different situations, and that's where always the greatest ideas come from. Brad, I'm going to give you final words, and we're going to get out of here for today.
Well, I would just, anybody out there that's watching that's considering the SafeDefend system and they're in the corporate world, it's one of the number one things you can do for your employees. I will tell you without a doubt, when we first had this installed and Rusty and his team were on site running all of our staff through the training and the exercises, we heard repeatedly from our employees, "Thank you so much for thinking of us and caring about our well-being here at the office."
Well, Brad, I would just say to you and your team, what you've built there here in Kansas City with your team of phenomenal people. If you know anything about caregivers and people that help our loved ones, whether it's home health or in their final days, you got a special group of people there, and it's our pleasure to work with you. And we're looking forward to helping you with your new location and installing the new SafeDefend system, and of course, doing some advanced training with your new and current staff. So thanks for what
we're looking forward to it.
Thanks again for what you do.
Yep.
Guys, I want to thank you both again. Thank you, Brad Evans, President CEO of Visiting Nurse Association, and Rusty Russell, our friend, Rusty Russell, Vice President of SafeDefend. Guys, are the Chiefs off this weekend?
They are. They get a chance to rest, so we can watch a couple of former Big 12 quarterbacks like Skylar Thompson and Brock Purdy, former Iowa Stater, and a local guy from, what is he, Osage, Brad?
Yeah,
Skylar Thompson.
He is.
It'd be nice if we could have him play here at Arrowhead next Saturday or Sunday, so we'll see.
Well, I know how much Rusty's almost a fan, Brad, of almost. Yeah. He's right there. He's just on the cusp. Yeah. Now, we appreciate you guys. Have blessed weekends, and thank you all for joining us today for SafeDefend Live.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Nice job, Brad.
Thanks.
See you later, buddy.
No, you bet, man. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.